We can all identify with their fright and with the elation that they lived through it. We ask you to identify with another kind of story of life and death. This is the story of the mean streets of East Oakland, a California community that has been all but abandoned by opportunity.
But in Oakland's future, as in all larger cities, there is an internal threat, the cancer of housing decay. Almost in the shadow of the city hall can be found the end result of this disease, the slum. Yes, this too is Oakland.
LA isn't the only place where hip-hop artists find their lives at risk. Many hip-hop artists have been murdered in Atlanta, Philadelphia, Chicago, and New York City, among other places. Oakland, California rapper and Rap-A-Lot Records artist Seagram Miller was shot and killed in a flurry of gunfire on July 31st of 1996. 3 years earlier, Seagram escaped an assassination attempt after a song he recorded in 1993 allegedly enraged an Oakland drug kingpin, leading to the first attempt on his life.
They've taken over your community. You have no freedom. You know, you can't let your kids go outside. My kids have, we found this and that on the side of the house, and other people have also, and little plastic bags with the residue left on the side of the house, and then, so you really feel oppressed, and there's a real high stress level.
Small groups, cliques of dealers use the streets as open-air drug markets. They bring a constant threat, sometimes the reality of violence to neighborhoods.
Seagram and his homie had just gotten out of a van when they were fired upon. Seagram and his homie were in East Oakland at the time of the shooting, in an area which was known for violence and drug trafficking.
These cops have what some call an impossible job: to clean up Oakland's streets of crack dealers.
How old are you? 12. What 12 years old?
Crack is corrupting the future. Police officer Pat Heiser is trying to save it.
Seagram, 26 years old at the time, suffered multiple gunshot wounds and was taken to Highland Hospital, where he would later die. These are the detailed events of what took place before, during, and after the mysterious unsolved murder of Seagram. Born April 13th of 1971, Seagram was originally from Oakland, Alameda County, California. In a genre often critiqued for being full of fake thugs and studio gangsters, Seagram was neither. Instead, Seagram was known for keeping it real, being that the street life he rapped about was one he knew from first-hand experience. Seagram had escaped an assassin's bullet 3 years prior to his murder, was rumored to have had beef in the streets. During the 1993 shooting, a San Leandro police officer would be wounded. It was rumored that the officer lost an eye. Let's rewind. Seagram was the perfect fit for J. Prince Sr.'s expanding Rap-A-Lot roster. Seagram was a street dude with smarts and intelligence that was about his business. Far from being shy, Seagram was quick to let you know he was no joke and nothing to be played with. But at the same time, Seagram would also warn younger dudes not to follow in his footsteps. Seagram's music will give vivid details of what goes down in the Ville without glamorizing the griminess that unfortunately consumed him in the end. It has even been argued by some that Seagram and Gangsta P pioneered the shizzle rap style. Seagram released 2 albums, The Dark Road in 1992
What is it to be a player?
and Reality Check in 1994.
Got to have an automatic when I'm in traffic.
Seagram's most notable singles were The Ville from the Dark Road album and East Side from the Reality Check album. Not to mention the Ghetto Boys featuring Seagram and Gangsta Nip, Action Speaks Louder Than Words, which was an instant cult classic.
Counterfeit gangsters, pranksters, and junk.
Seagram had firmly established himself as an OG, not just within the Bay Area hip-hop scene, but also on Oakland's vicious East Side streets. Seagram quickly broke the stereotypes on both levels. As a street OG, Seagram was well liked and well respected. He also made no bones about his willingness to step up and be a responsible father. Seagram was known as a man who took care of family despite having several kids for different women. So strong was that commitment that on his Reality Check LP, Seagram flipped the script and did a heartfelt song called Birth. As an artist, Seagram broke the mold attached to gangster street rappers. Seagram definitely had material that chronicled his life on the streets, but at the same time, he was considered one of the best freestylers in the game. There are more than a few shows and more than a few radio interviews where Seagram went hard denouncing fake gangsters.
Seagram, why don't you tell us a little bit about the record you've been working on?
Well, basically my album is based on personal morals about regular street life, how people, consider themselves as, drug dealers, murderers and everything, but still, you know what I'm saying, look up to God as their savior. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you're living a life as a criminal, you know what I'm saying, why not go ahead and accept that you're doing Satan's work? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and understand where you coming from. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not to say go worship him, just understand that's what you're doing, because most people, when they commit crimes, if they get away with them, they love it. You know what I'm saying? But if they get caught and suffer consequences, then they want to pray to God and ask for forgiveness. Why? That's blasphemy. You know, that's hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? I'm real about this here.
One incident that stood out most within the Bay Area hip-hop scene was the incident that occurred when Seagram and Mike G bum-rushed a show at San Francisco's DNA Lounge. They weren't scheduled to perform that night. However, Seagram showed up with a gat in his hand and made it clear that he was doing a 5-minute set. Let's just say Seagram's request was granted as he and Mike would hit the stage to do what ended up being the best performance of the night. The circumstances surrounding Seagram's death are still to this day a mystery. Seagram was in the area known as Twomps. There were rumors circulating in the streets that someone wanted Seagram dead. That would unfortunately become a reality when an unknown gunman emerged from the darkness and shot at Seagram's homie, Gangsta P. As Seagram tried to shield P, he wound up taking bullets that fatally wounded him. Gangsta P will be taken to the hospital in serious condition. When the funeral for Seagram was held, literally hundreds, if not thousands, showed up to pay their respects. Seagram's death will become yet another chapter in what had become an unfortunate Bay Area legacy that was gone too soon. This year marks the 28th anniversary of Seagram's death. The talented Oakland rapper, who on July 31st of 1996 was shot and killed on the streets of East Oakland. Immediately after his death, it wouldn't be long before rumors would begin to flood the streets. The first attempt on Seagram's life was allegedly pulled off by Tone Peeneman. Tone allegedly shot an Oakland, California police officer who had just so happened to pull up on the planned hit of Seagram. Luckily, Seagram, who was driving his 69 Chevelle, would get away. As the cop pulled up, trying to block off the getaway car of the suspected shooters, Tone allegedly opened fire on the officer, striking him in the face, causing him to lose an eye. The hit would allegedly be attempted a second time without fail. Seagram was only 26 years old with 2 albums to his name. His third will be released after his death.
You know what I'm saying? Basically, my songs is gangster, but
with a difference, because you do a lot of reading and it's sort of like on the dark side, right?
Yeah. You know, I'm kind of underground, real dark underground. But see, a lot of people, you know, misconceive that, like, reap what you sow. You know, it start off with a little satanic, you know what I'm saying, sayings or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? But all I'm stressing is that, you know what I'm saying, if I'm out here living by the gun, if I'm killing, selling dope, I mean, I could not basically say to myself that I'm on God's side. I'm not doing this deed. If I'm killing and slanging and, you know, banging everything, there's no way, right? So I'm just putting it, instead of preaching and saying, man, oh, y'all don't need to be out there doing this, doing that, or whatever. I'm just letting them know in reality whose side they on. So if you still down with it, then handle your business. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because you were telling me before, you've read a lot of different books, right? A lot of these
a lot of
Black
books
Magic
by
books, right?
Anton LaVey.
So is that recommended, Black Magic reading?
it's kind of like, if you curious about, different religions, because to me, religion is real deep. You know what I'm saying? There's so many of them. And you know what I'm saying? And then it's like America, to me, has really only been really established for like 200 and some years. You know what I'm saying? And then we got our own religion. So I look at other countries like, Africa and, Iran and all them. They got like Muslim. These is countries that's been around for centuries. You know what I'm saying?
To many, Seagram had not yet reached his artistic potential, nor had he gotten the full level of appreciation that he deserved. Seagram was a smart and intelligent wordsmith who was way ahead of his time, a man that addressed the realities and consequences of the gangster life that he was unapologetically living all the way up until the time of his death.
USF Hip Hop Slam, I Don't Give a Damn, and Billy Jam. Seagram, welcome back.
What's up?
The last time you were here, you nearly got me kicked off the air because remember you brought Bushwick Bill?
Yeah.
It was on the Gay Parade Day, and he started saying these less than kind things about gay people.
Yeah. They're degenerate.
Anyway, but you did hook up with the whole Houston crew, and you're out on Rap-A-Lot Records. A lot of people, they go to the record store, they see your new album, The Dark Roads, they see a Rap-A-Lot, and they assume, wrongly, that it's out of Houston.
Yeah, they think I'm from Houston, Texas, but I'm from East Oakland, 69th Village. You know what I'm saying? Definitely in the house.
How is it that you first hooked up with them? Because that's going back like 2 years now, right?
Yeah. Basically, the president of Rap-A-Lot Records is a friend of my executive producer. So they was, like buddies, and my executive producer kind of fell. He kind of went through some little trouble on his own, and James Smith from Rap-A-Lot picked it up, and it's finally in the dough. But this album I'm finna drop in about July, though. This is gonna be the bomb.
Well, it's been a long wait for it, but it's worth it because I thought it was going to come out ages ago.
Yeah.
Because I remember didn't you record like a lot of it over in Berkeley in that studio?
Yeah, Live Oak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I recorded, matter of fact, about 9 of them songs there. 9 of them. The other 4 was in San Francisco here, Frisco studio.
Oh yeah? You didn't go down to Houston for any of them?
Yeah, I did. I was in Houston, Texas when I recorded Action Speaks Louder Than Words. That's the song with me, Scarface, Willie D, and Gangsta Nip. That was the one I did in Texas.
Yeah. So you hang out with those guys a good bit, right?
Oh yeah. We be chilling, clowning.
Because they're always coming up here. They were here like a few weeks ago too.
Yeah, they was down here kicking it with me not too long. About 2 weeks ago, we was down here just hanging out, cooling. They'll be down here in about
tomorrow
a week too for a video.